All right, let's talk about something pretty much all of us have faced at some point, a difficult boss. But what if I told you that that exact challenge, that one person who drives you absolutely nuts, could actually be the single biggest opportunity of your entire career? Today we're going to break down exactly how to turn that tough relationship into your greatest professional advantage. I mean, let's be real for a second. Have you ever had one of those days where you're so frustrated you literally start updating your resume? Just thinking, that's it, I'm done, I'm out of here. If you're nodding along, trust me, you are in good company. It's a super common feeling, and there's a really good reason for it.
And this is the reason why. You've heard this saying a million times, right? Because it is so true. It's rarely about the logo on your paycheck or the building you walk into. It's almost always about the person you report to day in and day out. The problem usually isn't the job, it's the dynamic with your boss.
So, how do we actually fix this? Well, it all starts with a major shift in how we think about the problem. Our first instinct is to fight back, right? To prove them wrong, or maybe just avoid them altogether. But the real secret, the key that changes everything, is the complete opposite. It's all about connection. This right here, this is the framework for every successful interaction you will ever have with a manager. And here's where most of us get it totally backward. We jump straight to step 2, trying to convey our idea, or even all the way to step 3, trying to convince them. But we always skip the most important step, connect. And without that foundation, the other two are just pointless. And the difference is staggering. It's night and day. When you're disconnected from your boss, trying to get your point across feels like you're just shouting into an empty room. And convincing them of anything, forget about it. It's impossible. But when you're connected, conveying your idea just becomes a normal, simple conversation. And convincing, well, that just happens naturally. It's the effortless result of having that connection. Okay, so that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's one thing to say, go connect, but how do you actually do that? Especially if the relationship is already a little rocky. Let's get into the how. Building a real connection starts with one thing, genuine understanding. You have to consciously shift the focus off of your world and get curious about theirs. What do they really need to look good and succeed? What are their professional interests? And maybe most importantly, what are their concerns? What pressures are they dealing with that you can't even see? This is all about empathy. Before you can even hope for your boss to get where you're coming from, you have to put in the effort to see things from their side of the desk. You got to try to understand their challenges. And the wild part is, the more you understand their world, the more that connection just starts to build itself. Okay, so you have that foundation of understanding. Now let's get super practical. Here are 2 tactics you can use in the moment tomorrow to handle those tricky conversations and start building some real trust.
Tactic number 1 is a game changer. It's a listening skill. Think about it. When your boss disagrees with you, what's your gut reaction? To defend yourself, right? To explain why you're right? Don't do it. The very first thing you need to do is acknowledge their point of view. Something as simple as, okay, I can see why you think that, can just suck all the tension out of the room. And think about what happens when you don't do this. If you just jump straight into defending your position, you're not just failing to persuade them, you're actually making them more agitated. You're just giving them more stuff to argue against. When you acknowledge their point first, you disarm them. When you explain first, you just escalate the fight. Tactic number 2 is all about this powerful shift in your mindset. It's so easy to get caught up in the org chart and just see the job title, not the actual person. But we have to remember, they're just a human being who has their own worries and pressures, and just like you, they're looking for support and people they can rely on. So the key is to serve with a genuine desire to help them succeed. When you consistently show up with a great attitude and offer your skills to make their life easier, you become distinct. You stand out from everyone else. The alternative? You can do the bare minimum, blend in, and risk becoming totally irrelevant, or, extinct in their eyes. All right, now let's zoom out from the daily tactics and look at the long-term strategy here. This is where we go from just surviving your boss to actually thriving because of them. This is how you set yourself up for some seriously unstoppable growth in your career. This next piece requires a huge mental shift. The trap that so many of us fall into is thinking, well, they pay me this much, so I'm going to give them that much work. The opportunity is to completely disconnect your effort level from your current paycheck and instead connect it to your future potential. So maybe you're looking at your current salary, let's just say it's $50,000 a year, and that number becomes your benchmark for how hard you work. It's a real number, sure, but it's also a ceiling you're putting on yourself.
But think about this. Your potential over your entire career isn't 50 grand. It could be 5 million, maybe even more. When you start performing at the level of your potential, instead of the level of your paycheck, everything, and I mean everything, starts to change.
And this works because of this really powerful principle, sometimes called the law of increasing return. It's so simple, but it's profound. When you consistently deliver more value than you're currently being paid for, it's only a matter of time before the universe and your company rewards you with way more than you initially gave.
So what's the payoff for making this mindset shift? Oh, it's huge. Your boss stops seeing you as just an employee doing a task. They start to see someone with massive potential. You become one of the people they trust, part of that inner circle they rely on when things get serious. This right here is the fastest way to get into leadership.
So if you only take one single thing away from all of this, let it be this. Everything we've talked about, from building connection to using tactics in conversations to delivering massive value, it all starts with one simple, powerful action: seeking to genuinely understand your boss as a person first.
So where do you begin? Because learning this stuff is great, but taking action is what really makes a difference. So I have a challenge for you. What's one question you can ask your boss this week, not about your own work, but about their world, that could be the first step to building that connection? Think about it, and then go ask.